Have you ever stopped to think about what makes a ghost story really scary? You know, the kind that doesn't just make you jump, but actually crawls under your skin and just stays there? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today by looking at two totally different kinds of nightmares. We're diving deep into that question. We're going to look at the DNA of two classic Hindi horror stories and figure out how they build that sense of dread, from the kinds of monsters they use all the way to those final chilling twists that just flip everything upside down. And really, that's what this all boils down to. We're putting an ancient, traditional evil up against a modern, psychological phantom. One is loud. It screams its intentions from the rooftops. The other? Well, the other just whispers in your ear until you can't even trust what you see.
So our two battlegrounds couldn't be more different. On one side, you've got this small, isolated village, a place just drenched in history and a shared sense of fear. And on the other, a huge, anonymous city apartment, where the real horror isn't some community curse. It's being completely and utterly alone. All right, first things first, let's meet the monsters. Who, or maybe what, is actually doing the haunting? Because this is where these two nightmares really start to go in opposite directions.
You see, the real split starts right here, with where these monsters even come from. In the village, we've got a Diane, a classic vengeful spirit from folklore. She has a very public backstory. The whole village wronged her, and now she's back for payback. Simple. But in the city, the ghost is a total question mark. A stranger named Sneha just appears one night, and her weapon of choice isn't some supernatural power. It's psychological warfare. It's doubt. And check this out. This is a perfect example of how folk horror works. The Diane literally tells you what she's going to do. 10 years ago, while being burned, she screams, "I will return." The threat is out in the open. It's like a ticking time bomb that the whole village knows is set to go off. But the apartment ghost? Totally different playbook. She doesn't come crashing through a window. She rings the doorbell. She claims she saw a roommate ad that our main character, Muskan, never even posted. And she just politely talks her way into the apartment. The horror here doesn't start with a scream. It starts with a smile. So, you've got the monsters in place. How do they start making their presence felt? What are those first clues that things are about to go very, very wrong? It's almost like a classic horror menu, and both stories are ordering their favorites. In the village, the signs are big, almost biblical, right? The holy water goes bad, a guy's skin turns blue, his son starts crying tears of blood. Meanwhile, in the city, the horror is a bit more high-tech. The TV glitches and shows a creepy face. The lights flicker out at the worst possible second. But here is the absolute key difference. The Diane's terror is a group project. Her curse hits everyone and everything. The cows, the temple, the water, the whole village is in this nightmare together. It's a public crisis. But in the apartment, it's the exact opposite. Sneha's haunting is all about isolation. It's a campaign of pure gaslighting. When something weird happens, she's right there to say, "What are you talking about? I didn't see anything." Or, "Oh, that's probably just a bad TV signal." She makes sure Muskan is the only one who sees it, pushing her to ask that terrible question. Is this place haunted, or am I losing my mind?
Okay, so this all leads to the big showdown. When the fear is at its absolute peak, how do you fight back? And you guessed it, the playbooks are from two different worlds.
The village story plays out like a classic quest. You have to follow the rules. The local wise man figures out the Diane's weakness. All her power is tied up in her long hair, her choti. And who can defeat her? Only innocent children, because they're pure enough to get close and cut it. It's a clear mission with a clear objective. But what about the city? I mean, seriously, what's the plan there? There's no wise man with an ancient scroll. There's no rule book for a ghost who's pretending to be your roommate and has you convinced you're the one who's crazy.
And the answer is, there isn't a plan. The climax isn't some heroic battle. It's pure chaos. It's just Muskan finally realizing the danger she's in, trying to lock herself in a room, screaming for the ghost to go away. Her goal isn't to win, it's just to get out alive.
But you know how horror stories work. It's rarely that simple. The real knockout punch doesn't come during the fight.
It comes right at the end, with that one final reveal that changes everything.
And this is where both of our stories save their deadliest secret for last. They let you think you finally understand what's going on, and then they just pull the entire rug out from under you.
So imagine this. Muskan finally escapes the apartment. She's a complete mess. People find her on the street, and when she tells them her roommate is still inside, a man just calmly delivers this one devastating line. This house has been abandoned for 15 years.
And boom, that's it. That is the true nightmare. Sneha wasn't some ghost who invaded the apartment. Muskan had moved into the ghost's house. The spirit wasn't an intruder. It was the very foundation, the walls, the air of the place she thought was her home. And just to twist the knife one last time as they're taking Muskan away, the spirit gets the final word, whispering this chilling promise that just seals her fate. Now we will be together forever. The ghost didn't just win. It consumed her. So what about the village? Oh, it's got a twist too, and it's just as brutal. When they finally corner the Dayan, they realize it isn't just some spirit from the past. The Dayan has possessed Melody, the brand new bride of the main family. The monster they were fighting wasn't an outsider at all. It was living in their home, eating at their table. It was family. So that leaves us with this final thought. In one story, the monster is burned to ash. In the other, the ghost wins completely. But both of them tap into these really deep fears we all have. The fear of a past that won't stay buried, and the fear of an unknown evil that's hiding right in front of us. It really makes you wonder, do these monsters ever actually die? Or are they just waiting for the next person to tell their story?